Here we go. Our top 10 starting pitchers heading into the 2023 MLB season. This is the last one, right? We've gone through all of the lists.
Mm-hmm.
And
Relief
this
pitchers
is
are just like it's a joke.
what?
We're relief pitchers. We're good.
No, we don't. We already know number one is anyway. He's not even pitching this year. Yeah. So anyway, let's get into this because this is a very difficult list. There's so many guys.
It by far the hardest list we had to make, and I thought that the outfielders one was going to be hard.
No.
This is like there were like 17 dudes that I tried to get into this top 10, and I was just like, I can't.
Yeah.
And I would like to believe like we've been pretty similar with some of our lists. Some of them we've been a little different, but I think that's just that's just the way it is. Like unless one of us has a ridiculous list, it's not really going to be that different. This is the list where I think like we're going to have a ton of differences. But
I wonder how many guys are on the not in the same spots because that's going to be a lot different. I know that.
Yeah.
But like the difference of guys, like who do you have that I don't? Like is it going to be like over two guys? That's what I'm interested to see.
Right.
All right. I'll start.
Go on ahead.
All right. Number 10, Max Fried. Number 9, Zach Wheeler. Number 8, Carlos Rodon. Number 7, Jacob deGrom. Number 6, Garrett Cole. Number 5, Shohei Ohtani. Number 4, Max Scherzer. Number 3, Sandy Alcantara. Number 2, Justin Verlander. And number 1, Corbin Burns, who switched agents today.
Okay, yeah. I was right. Holy crap.
How many is it?
We got a lot of differences. It's not even there are some guys who are like on my list that are like way higher or way lower. So
let's discuss.
I'm just gonna get right into it, okay? Number 10, Spencer Strider. Number 9, Aaron Nola. Number 8, Shohei Ohtani. Number 7, Garrett Cole. Number 6, Sandy Alcantara. Number 5, Max Scherzer. Number 4, Carlos Rodon. Number 3, Zach Wheeler. Number 2, Justin Verlander. And number 1, Corbin Burns.
Wow. We had the top 2, right?
Zach Wheeler, that to me is like, so you had him 9?
Yes, I had Wheeler 9.
All right, so let's get into Wheeler. What's the justification there? Because I had him very high. Top 3 is very high, but I couldn't. The lowest I would have him is like 5.
Yeah, I mean, Rodon was unbelievable last season. He wasn't going over Rodon for me. DeGrom's tough, and I felt, you didn't have DeGrom on the list. I do. I feel like 7 was grading him tough because, again, if the guy pitches, he's the greatest pitcher in the world. So I cannot put him 1. I can't put him 2, and I can't put him 3.
Yeah,
but I could definitely put him on the list, knowing that even if he pitches, if he has 20 starts, 23 starts, he's still better than most of these guys on this list at 23 starts. You know what's funny? I looked at Ohtani, and I swear to God, like I could have made a case for Ohtani at 1. He had such an amazing year on the mound last season. So 5, I thought you had Ohtani 8. I'm shocked by that. I thought you were gonna have Ohtani higher than I had Ohtani.
So for me, like I feel like a lot of these pitchers, it's a little up and down. And I was looking at this from more of a last 2 years basis. I think that's why you saw Wheeler higher for me. And that's why you saw Ohtani a little lower. That's why Aaron Nola made my list because he's been a really solid pitcher for the past 2 years. A lot of innings, a lot of strikeouts. Ohtani was excellent. If he has another one of those years, he will certainly be in the top 5. Just going back to Wheeler, his 2021 was so amazing. And if Corbin Burns didn't have such an incredible year, he would have been the Cy Young. And
yes. I thought Wheeler should have won the Cy Young that year.
And he really came out again last year, and he basically did it again. The strikeout numbers were down a little bit, but the ERA was like basically matching, and he pitched a little bit less innings last year. So
Yeah,
I
153 innings
really,
last year.
I just think over the last 2 years, I think Zach Wheeler's been a top 3 pitcher in baseball over the last 2 years, and I think that's why I gave him the number 3 spot.
That's really high. I don't know. Like I can understand you put him in the top 5, but like Alcantara, and I know they play in the same division, but Sandy Alcantara just had an unreal season. Pitched more innings than Wheeler did. I'm pretty sure in any of those
Yeah, he
seasons.
pitched 230 innings this year.
Yeah, in a gauntlet of a division.
Yeah.
And again, Wheeler doesn't have to face the Phillies, so he has to face the Mets and the Braves. Okay. Alcantara had to face the Mets, Braves, and Phillies, and on a worse team. Granted, it doesn't really mean as much, but I don't know. That's why I'm over. Wait, you had Alcantara what, 4,
6?
6? Like
Yeah,
I
I mean,
wanted to have him lower too, and you could have made again a case for the reigning Cy Young Award winner in the National League to be 1, but I had him 3, and I thought that was almost
I get
disrespectful.
it, but like I said, like I was really looking at this from more of a 2-year basis. Like when you look at Corbin Burns, he's number 1 because his 2021 was excellent, won the Cy Young. Last year had another great year, slightly not as good as 2021, didn't win the Cy Young. Alcantara ended up winning it, but you basically got, you had the best. He was the best pitcher 2 years ago, and he was one of the best pitchers last year, so he got the number 1 spot. Alcantara had a good 2021, showed potential to be an ace. Wouldn't call him a top 10 starting pitcher just yet going into last season. And then he went out and had a Cy Young season. So yeah, I gave him the number 6 spot, but it was tough for me to put Scherzer over him, or to put him over Scherzer, put him over Rodon, or any of those guys I had above him, because the numbers just weren't quite there for what the criteria was that I had.
Yeah, and I had Scherzer ahead of him, and then I flipped it. Scherzer, if he pitches 30 more innings, we can make an argument, and the numbers were similar.
Yeah,
the ERA didn't go up too much. Similar, he could have won the Cy Young last year.
Yeah.
Like, he was that good last season in 23 starts.
Yeah,
and 145 innings. So
I'll talk about Nola too with it. Wheeler and Nola to me, like, they're pretty similar, where Wheeler's just had better numbers in terms of ERA and all those numbers, but
yeah,
they're similar in where they've just been like rocks for that team, and they've been doing it for 2 years now. And Nola's, I was looking at the advanced numbers a lot here. Fangraphs has the expected ERA and the expected FIP and all that stuff. Nola was like at the top of the list basically over the past 2 seasons in both those categories. He's just had a little bit of luck not being on his side, especially in 2021. He had like a 4.5 ERA or something like that, and the season that he had didn't in no way reflect those numbers. So that's why I had him at the bottom of mine. And it's another one like Garrett Cole. He's got the home run problems. If it wasn't for him having those big innings last year and his ERA numbers being so high, he would definitely be on my top 5. And we've talked about Cole, where he could be 1 on this list. But the numbers just haven't really supported it too much. But he's another guy where a lot of innings, a lot of strikeouts. He's been reliable.
right.
I really have valued that when I made this list. And that's why DeGrom didn't make mine. You're right. He is the best pitcher in baseball when he's healthy. The guy's pitched 25 starts in the past 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So, and even last year, like, if DeGrom posted another sub 2 ERA last year in only 11 games or whatever it was, I would have him on this list. But he had a 3 ERA in 11 starts or whatever it was last year. So that mixed with he's not pitching at all, I left him off the top 10. And that's where these lists get confused a little bit, is people make lists projecting into 2023. Ours is where the guys stand right now based off their track record.
Right.
To me, that's why I don't have him there. But if we're talking fully healthy, I'll have DeGrom 1.
Yeah. Strider on your list, he's probably 11 for me. I'd say Nola's 12. Where was Fried again? Did you have Fried on it?
I did not. He was right outside mine. You know how I feel about Strider. Fried's been great. I just think that rookie season for Strider was so special. The strikeout numbers are just out of this world. The 13.8 K per 9 or whatever it is. incredible. So I had to put him on my list. But yeah, I mean, him and Max Fried. You want to talk about how many duos we see now at the top? You know, you got Verlander, Scherzer, Rodon and Cole, Wheeler and Nola, and now we're talking about Strider and Fried.
Yep.
A lot of these teams have some big firepower. A couple other guys too left off the list. I guess we'll talk honorable mentions. McClanahan.
Yes, it's nuts that he's left off
He
this
was,
list.
and another guy that I feel like is a little under the radar still. I almost put Kevin Gausman on this list. He's been great.
He had a really great year last year.
He's been really good. I view him as the ace of that rotation, honestly. I know Manoah might be looked at, but to me, they're 1 and 1A, basically. I think he's just as good as Manoah, if not better. So
yeah, and you talked about the last two seasons. His 2021 season was really freaking good with the Giants.
yeah,
192 innings, 2.81 ERA. So 100%, you can absolutely have you could have Gausman on this list. That's why so many guys, Valdez, Julio Urias,
yep.
Shane Bieber, like
Dylan Cease.
Yeah, like you're talking about so many guys that could be on this list, and
I
guys left off.
I want to talk about, where'd you have Rodon?
I had Rodon 8th.
Okay. See, that's slow to me. And where'd you have Cole?
I had Cole 6th.
Oh, so you had Cole over Rodon.
Yes.
See, that's the weird thing is I view Cole as the Yankees ace. The Yankees view Cole as the Yankees ace. You know, he's the opening day starter. But as it stands right now, I had to give Rodon the higher spot than him just because when you look at the past last year and you look at the season before that, he's been the better pitcher. Carlos Rodon has been a top 5 pitcher in baseball over the last 2 seasons, and I don't even think it's arguable.
Yeah, I mean, just the one thing again, he pitched he had 178 innings in 2022 with the Giants, which is, a lot of innings, especially for today. But 2021, he had 132 innings. And I know we're not projecting or using this season at all, but he's already missing time going into the 2023 season. So, and yeah, I could sound like a hypocrite. Oh, I'm not using the injury thing for DeGrom, but I am for Rodon. I don't think I am.
No, you did. You did. You didn't use. You did use the injury thing for DeGrom because
I had him lower than I would have.
He would be 1 if you didn't. So
right, but yeah, it's kind of a concern with Rodon. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, he's been unreal. Especially last season was unbelievable. If we're ranking just last season, yeah, he's top 5 on this list.
I told you we were gonna have a lot of disagreements, man.
It was good. I'm happy we did. Mm-hmm. Is there anybody we didn't talk about? I don't think so. Not on my list, not on your list.
I don't know. I mean, you got guys who on this list maybe a year ago and they kind of tailed off, like, Robbie Ray and Brandon Woodruff and things like that. Logan Webb's a guy who makes a case for top 15, but I don't think we really missed on anybody major.
No. It's crazy too. Verlander misses 2021, wins the Cy Young. He's on this list now. He's very high on our list.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. I think we nailed this one. I think we both nailed this one. And I'm just pretty pumped up for the start of the season.
Me too, man. Can't wait. We'll see how this list changes next year.
Yes, and look out for our prediction show next week. Very excited for that. About a week away as of right now from opening day.